Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to our trainings, our advanced trainings on Thursday. Today, we are doing intuition, and it is with me. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Petra, and I've been doing this for almost 2 years now. Oh my God, time flies, huh? Perfect, you can hear me. Awesome. Let me know if everything's clear and you can hear me properly. So I'm just going to go and start sharing so we can get our translating stuff in order. So before we drop into the topic. Okie dokie. Here we go. So welcome. Today we are building intuition with Healy device, with frequency. And if you are joining us and don't understand English as well, as you would like to, don't worry, you can scan this QR code of the app called Wordly, and on your phone you will be asked and prompted to choose a language, and then you will attend the meeting. So you'll have the translation on your phone and you will see me on your computer, and you can have the translation in your language, that whichever language you would like to. And of course, if you want to have it translated in Spanish or Japanese, just choose that language for translation. So welcome. You had a feeling we're doing intuition. Just my intuition. Well, a good intuition then. Oh, let me rename myself. I actually haven't renamed myself. I'll just do this one first so you know that that's me. So we have everything in order. Perfect. So if I will try to talk a bit slowly so the Wordly can actually translate properly. But before we dive into intuition today, as always, we have a disclaimer and notice that we need to take care of. And first of all, we need to know that this is all new technology, well, emerging technology, not quite new. And unfortunately, the Western medicine and science does not really recognize the existence of information field or its analysis or its harmonization. And not because it doesn't exist, because now quantum physics is actually proving that, but because we don't have enough scientific evidence. So make sure that whatever you learn here, whatever we say here, you take this as for your own educational purposes and not as a 100% fact. That's it, science done. Yeah, make sure that you also use your own common sense and check with your own intuition. We're going to learn how to do that today, because your intuition is your guidance. And of course, my parents told me not to trust everyone just by what they say, but what they do. So actions are more important than words. So make sure that you double check with yourself. And of course, our Healy and Mag Healy devices are amazing, beautiful, fantastic additions into our life, but they are not, and I will repeat, not intended to cure, treat, mitigate, diagnose, or prevent any disease or medical condition. So if you have any medical questions, please attend them to and direct them to your general practitioners or your doctors or your therapists. What we do here, we harmonize. So we create an environment within our body. We go to the root cause of the symptoms and situations, and we actually look at where things are originating. We do not treat any diagnosing things, treat or cure or diagnose anything, because Healy and Mag Healy devices don't do that, but they give us a beautiful insight into our body, our systems, the way we work, and how we can actually transform that. Okie dokie, intuition. This is my probably favorite topic. Oh, well, energetics in all essence, but intuition is a big part of it. It's a language that majority of us have never learned, and we're still kind of going around looking into the void of what is intuition and how do I hear it and how do I see it and how do I listen to it and what do I do with it, and how do I use it for direction. So my question before we dive into this today I've actually dived quite a bit more complex. So I'm going to give you a different approach to intuition, more targeted. And I would love to know from you, if you are in touch with your intuition, do you know the difference between your fear talking to you or your intuition? So drop that into the chat. I would really, really love to know. How long is the session? Normally an hour, and then depends on your questions because you sometimes make me stay for like half an hour, 45 minutes. Hola, greetings from Spain. Hello, Spain. Sorry if it's not working, the translation. Maybe reset the app. Oh, maybe wait. Oh, wait. Maybe I did the wrong thing. Wait, I will do that. Thank you for letting me know. More. It should work now. Let me stop sharing and I will just see if I can actually, it should be working. Oh, disconnected. Okay, I will connect again. Sorry for that. My apologies. This should work now. So the Wordly should work now. So try that now. Hope this works. Well, I'm just going to start sharing again. Okie dokie. Okay, translation fix. Let's go back to intuition. My intuition is like a voice inside me. Okay, great. What tone of voice? Is it female? Is it masculine voice? And does the fear has a voice as well? Or do you know when your fear is talking to you or when intuition is talking to you? Fear is negative, but intuition is positive. Okay, interesting perception. Now it's working. Perfect. Okay, great. Thanks for the feedback. Intuition is your guide, often for your good. It's not fear. Oh, yes, that is true. So we want to distinguish first if we know. So intuition is not fear, definitely, but we want to distinguish. I want to understand if you understand the difference, how fear presents in the body and how intuition presents in the body. So why is this important? So when we are working with Healy and when we are working with fields, be it electromagnetic fields, magnetic fields, quantum fields, whatever it is, they're all magnetic fields, just different layers. So we want to actually fine tune the language, yes, because intuition is the language that does not speak in sentences like we speak in English or any other language. It does not make sense. There's no logic to it because this does not reside in the logical brain. So I want to understand if you know the difference of fear speaking to you and how does that feel, and intuition speaking to you and how does that feel. Do you know the difference within the body? The intuition is that soft sound and fear is loud. Interesting. My intuition talks to me in my voice, gut feeling. Okay, gut feeling. Fear kicks off my nervous system. Intuition feels more calm to me. Good. Intuition is your inner voice, the first thing from your heart, which feels light before the mind crops in. Yes, perfect. When there is fear, I think I feel palpitations, uncomfortable feeling in my stomach, but intuition is just a voice, no physical feelings. That's okay. So that's two different things. So great. So you are already sensing, right? So there's layers to intuition. So we have the type of intuition, the way it talks and the way it speaks through the body, and then we have how it presents itself. Yeah, so we'll take a look at that as well. Feels heavy. Good. So we are looking at sensations. So when we are looking at fear and intuition, we are looking at sensations within the body, because the body will always tell you with specific feedback of how it's communicating through fear or how it's communicating through intuition. Gut feeling and inner voice. Yes, so inner voice, a lot of you are talking about inner voice. Inner voice can be really misleading, yeah, if you have not been practicing your inner voice frequency and tone and color. So why am I saying that? Because inner voice can also be inner critic that comes from ego, and sometimes that can be really hard to distinguish, especially when we are still processing trauma. So we're going to look at that. So why am I saying all of this? So we understand why we are doing this exercise. When a lot of you message me and a lot of you ask me a lot of stuff about aura scans and coaching scans and all these resonance lists that come up, and you don't know how to interpret that. So this is where your intuition kicks in. The frequencies that Healy actually brings back to you, when you fine tune your intuition, you will sense it. You will know exactly where it's coming from. You will know exactly how to connect the dots in order to actually get insights into your energetic field and into yourself. And we also want to understand, because sometimes people ask me, but that doesn't resonate at all. Like, that's not mine. I don't have anything happening this way in my life. And that's also important, because we need to look at the pillars of intuition and what's important before we actually scan. Okay, so let's look at that. So first of all, what is intuition? Yeah, intuition itself is the ability to understand or know something immediately, like split of a second, yeah, without conscious reasoning. So without your brain telling you this should be this, or maybe if this happens, or maybe that, yeah, or maybe if this would be, and or you come, for example, I don't know if you have this experience, you sit in meditation, or you go and walk around and you're in nature, and all of a sudden this feeling or flash comes in and you have an idea, yeah, and that idea is a second, an energy light that comes through with clear intentions. And all of a sudden, you start doubting, you start analyzing, or you start planning all in detail. Yeah? Which means that you're not actually listening to intuition. So that's where your brain kicks in. So your conscious reasoning of analyzing, over analyzing, what ifs, yeah, or this needs to be this way, planned this way, and if it's not this way, then it's not proper. We try to control. So intuition is when we actually go by feeling, by being pulled towards something instead of trying to control it. And it's often described as, you all said as well, gut feeling. And we're going to look at why gut feeling. And also inner knowing. So there's different ways that intuition speaks to us, but this is the majority of what majority of people actually expresses. So we have different types of intuition. So we have emotional intuition, which is literally sensing energy and emotions. Yes, for yourself or for others, or the energy around you or within you. Then we have somatic intuition. So this is through the body. So we feel physical sensations and they give us insight. So those physical sensations can also sometimes come with flashes of memories, or they can come with pictures, videos, like inside symbols, a lot of visuals. Or they come with really strong hot, cold sensations as well. Yeah, on a pull, that can also be through the body. And then depends on what kind of type of energy you are. So that's a different layer, but just letting you know. Then we have cognitive intuition. So your mind is also a part of intuition, not the ego part, but the other part of the mind. And this is where the quick insights and ideas come in. So this is, for example, really, I don't know if you ever seen those geniuses, right, that get really cool insights, and sometimes they actually get entire concepts. Yeah, they don't have an idea how they actually got to that concept, but it literally comes through. So it comes through that cognitive part of the intuition, which is literally tapping into the field. And then we also have spiritual intuition. So spiritual intuition is higher guidance or inner voice. So no, that doesn't mean you need to be enlightened for that. Yeah, you just need to be connected and you need to practice. And anyone, I can tell you, I have all of them, and we're going to go through all of this, and I can share how I've actually developed all of them. But you can develop them. This is something that's been proven that can be learned. Anyone can develop their intuition. We all have it. So you have it and you're actually using it even though you don't know that you're using it. You just don't hear it because your inner guidance is guiding you through the systems of observation patterns and all of that to actually get you where you need to go. You're just not conscious of it, but you have it. So why does intuition matter? So as we know, we said with Healy, but in life, it's our truth. It's who we are in our essence. It's literally our inner guidance system. I always like to call intuition inner tuition. So it's our inner guidance that's teaching us what we need to know, how we need to do it, and where we need to go. And it's really important. Why? Because it actually helps you become empowered. Because without that guidance, you are relying on other people's intuition and knowledge and experiences. And you're also giving your power away. So if you want to just keep doing that, that's your choice, you can. But I prefer to be empowered. And it actually supports our aligned living. We become more aligned with who we are. We become more happy. Yeah, we become more connected to the world around us, not only to ourselves, which is especially important in healing. So if you really want to heal your body, you need to connect with it. Yeah, because that's the inner knowing of the body, and even you'll understand the inner workings. Entrepreneurship. So if you ever ask any entrepreneur if it's using intuition, yeah, all the time. Because there's so many risks and there's so many fast decisions. They actually operate on intuition, not on, they operate on knowledge, of course, but majority they operate on intuition. They don't know half of the time or more what they are doing. They're literally just following their instincts and their intuition. So it's really important to understand that entrepreneurship as having business means that you need to have an open mind and open heart in order to tap into that space and to that container in order to actually move yourself along, because intuition is energy and it's fast. So it actually, that's why they say success loves speed, because speed comes from the instinct and intuition that actually comes when you start trusting yourself and stop doubting yourself. It's also really important in relationships. Why? Because intuition tells us and shows us how to connect deeper, how to have more empathy, how to see both sides of the story. That's what intuition also shares with us and teaches us. So intuition is more important than anything else in the world. And your healing, physical healing, emotional healing, mental healing will not happen without intuition. Just letting you know. Because your mind, 3D mind, does not know everything. Although it tends to be a smartass, yeah, a know-it-all, but it doesn't. Yeah, just letting you know, it's a little tiny, tiny brain. Yeah, it does not know everything. Okay, so I gave you a lot of tables today, and I'm gonna give you that in the group. Don't stress. So if you want the recordings and all this stuff that I'm going to give you, just go into the link in the chat. If you're not in the Facebook group yet, I post everything in that Facebook group in the guide section. You will find all the trainings and everything in the comments of the post. So let's look at the difference between fear and intuition first, so we have a foundation to work on. So when we're looking at the differences and we're looking at the discrepancies, they're small. So we need to observe on different levels. So we have 4 levels to observe fear or intuition on. So we have energy signature, so how energy actually moves through the body, how the tone and the feeling of that energy, the origin, where it originates, and the speed of energy. So all of those are actually can be sensed in the body. And if you start observing them, you will feel them, like to the point. And the more you do it, the more you practice, the more you train the muscle, the more you're going to actually understand the difference between fear and intuition. So let's look at fear. So fear in energy signature, it's contracting. So you might feel your belly contract or your body contract or your muscles contract. It's also really tense, like you feel this electric shock through the body. It's also really loud. You're going to probably hear it up here. Yeah, not in the body, but up from the neck up. Yeah, sometimes you can also get really hot head. Yeah, if you feel sometimes sensations on the body. It's also really urgent. So if you feel like something is pressuring you to make a decision, you need to take a step back and take a really deep breath to calm down your nervous system, because that normally comes from either your trauma, your past experiences, which are then seated in the ego, which drains your energy through the nervous system and activates the fear. Yeah, so which is protection. Where intuition is expensive, below the neck. So it will sometimes come up to the neck because it's expression, but it's normally below the neck. It's literally either in the heart, solar plexus, the belly, the womb space for women, depending on the type of energy that you have. But it is in the bottom part of the body. So you will always feel it here. And in majority of times, it will feel like it's expanding out of your body. And it's not going to be like intense expansion, but it's like a really calm, soft expansion. Sometimes you can feel the warmth. It's really quiet. It feels like it muffles down, and there's no urgency. It's neutral. It's like if you want to act on it, you can. If not, that's perfectly fine. I'm just giving you a message. That's the feeling within the body. That's the energy signature of the intuition. What about the tone and the feeling? Well, fear is anxious. So you will feel really like, some of you said heart palpitations, or you're going to feel like you become like your cortisols go up, like you become anxious, you could squeeze your belly, or you feel like you become hyperactive, or you start talking too fast. Yeah. You also can become panicked, so like shallow breathing, and negative what ifs. So fear is not always negative. Sometimes fear can protect you. But when it comes in the negative self-talk or doubts, like what if this happens? Or what if I do this? And what if I don't do this? This is your mind and your fear literally controlling you. So you need to take a breath and step back and wait for the calmer response. Where intuition is soft, it's clear. It's going to give you a clear message, a feeling, a direction, either warm or cold, like all those really clear yes or no, clear answers. Yeah, there's no drama. With intuition, there is no drama. So if you have drama around you, you are not in intuition space. You are in your fear trauma response. So make sure that you check with yourself. And it literally just feels like clarity. It's like air through your body, like a breeze. So where does it originate? So fear comes from the ego, ego is not a bad thing. We all develop ego when we are 7 years old. It actually protects us on this physical level. It's a combination of all the experiences up to the year 7 of our age. And when it comes from our mental projections, so our belief system, suppressed emotions, and anything that's contracted within the body where the energy does not flow freely. Where intuition comes from your soul, from your essence directly. So it's a clear message. It's going to be a completely high frequency. If you feel the energy, it's going to be like a high pitch. It's not going to be heavy. Yeah, it's not going to be slow. It's going to be really fast. We're going to look at the speed. And it's the wisdom. So even if it comes from outside of you, it will drop down into your heart and into your belly. So it's not going to stop in your head. It's literally going to go into your body. And it comes from your higher self or essence. And you're going to feel this loving feeling that comes with it. Yeah, the more you practice it, the more you're going to sense it. Where with speed, fear is actually reacts quickly, but it's heavy and slow. And it often goes in loops, and it feels like when majority of people describe it, it's like when you have a bicycle or a motorcycle and the front wheel is not smooth and it feels like click, 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 yeah? So it literally bumps into blockages. So it doesn't feel smooth, it doesn't feel calm. Where intuition, it's really fast. You will feel it for a split of a second, you will feel this expansion, but it's going to be really, really tiny speck of that energy, but it would leave peace in your body. So it's going to go through, you're going to feel either warmth or peace or calmness, but it's going to be really fast and really short. So those are the really important differences that you need to be aware of, and you can start practicing. I'm not going to go through this, but I'll give you this, so how you can recognize it throughout the day, so you can feel the difference in the body. But the most important thing to ask when you checking in and doing the practice is the voice or the knowing or the feeling. Is it coming from protection? Is it trying to protect me, or is it trying to guide and show me something? So those are the two things that you need to start asking yourself in your body. Because if it's protection, it's ego and trauma and nervous system blockage response. If it's guidance, it's literally expansion and movement forward. It's going to feel like you're moving forward. Yeah? Okay, basic stuff. Let's move forward. So we have body systems that are actually connected to your intuition. I'm not going to go into deep dive into all the systems, but I just want you to be aware of the systems that you can support. And why I'm listing those systems is because majority of our trauma or suppressed emotions are influencing all these systems. That's why a lot of people are not actually feeling, hearing, they can't develop the intuition because they have not done the work on their bodies, yeah, and their emotional levels. So we have 4 systems that are the major systems influencing intuition. First is your nervous system. So we know nervous system, it also charges our meridians, it also charges our bioenergetic field, so it's a crucial system to work with. And we know that highly intuitive people, they often feel things in their gut and their heart. Yeah, I now feel it literally outside, like on my bubble, through my whole body. And normally I feel it through the spine. But because I've been practicing for so long, I know my language. Yeah. So the more you practice, the more you're going to get to know yourself. And when we are in parasympathetic dominance, that means rest and digest. We actually support better receptivity. So your nervous system, when it's in rest and digest, opens up the electrical, it's like an electrical receiver of your bioenergetic field, meaning that your bubble around you is now more receptive to new information. But if you're in the sympathetic dominance, it means that you are closed up and you're draining your energy and you can't receive anything new because you're in your contraction. And we know the nervous system actually receives, transmits, and interprets subtle signals from the environment. So if you have suppressed emotions, or if you have toxic relationships around you, or if you're draining your nervous system all the time and you have adrenal fatigue, for example, you will not be able to have clear intuition because your nervous system will not allow you. And nervous system is the first system that actually then communicates with endocrine system. And endocrine system is what actually projects. So this is where we get the images and all the sensations and feelings and, all this, what people describe when they go into meditation of this bliss and love and all of it. Why? Because there's 3 glands in endocrine system that actually allows us to have that experience. And one of those are pineal gland, pituitary gland, and hypothalamus. So pineal gland, often called as a third eye, is a cone-shaped gland. It's really tiny, small cone here and here. Yeah, I can't really put my finger through the head. But it has these beautiful crystals inside that are affected by EMF and by light. And they also respond to pressure, so the breath pressure through the body. And pineal gland regulates your melatonin, which is your sleep and relaxation hormone, circadian rhythm. So this one is crucial for intuition. and also connects to light perception. So I'm going to show you one app that you can use to activate your pineal gland and actually have those vivid experiences for visual perceptions. And that means also light physically and energetically. So if you want to activate your pineal gland and actually have more in tune intuition, you will need to actually use your circadian rhythm and balance it. The best light for pineal gland and for your intuition is morning sun. So sun gazing in the morning sun will actually help to activate your pineal gland. Then we have pituitary gland, which is like a master gland, like the CEO. Yeah, the CEO that is influencing your hormones. Hormones are crucial for your intuition because they're like messengers. Yeah, they communicate throughout the body. And it also governs the higher awareness. So the connection to your higher self, the expansion of you, your etheric body. And then we have hypothalamus, which links the endocrine and the nervous system together. It's like a manager delegating things. And it also regulates your homeostasis and intuition activating states like calm, sleep, and pleasure. Yes, pleasure is also important for intuition, because if you don't have joy, happiness, and pleasure, you are not expanding, because those are the frequencies that are actually expanding emotions and frequencies within your body. So we have the nervous system, we have the endocrine. So now we go into heart-brain connection. We have more than 2 brains in the body. The third one is fascia. But the heart is the most important part of the magnetic field, and that connects to your nervous system, that connects to your blood, that connects to your hormones, that connects to your energy, that connects to your essence itself. And we know that heart has electromagnetic field, and we know that it's, can be measured up to 3 meters away from the body. It also has 40,000 neurons. And Heart Math Institute actually made a study that actually proved that heart communicates with the brain, and it senses things before the brain does. And how heart and brain communicate is through hormones, electrical signals, and neurological signals. So if your hormones are out of balance, if your nervous system is out of balance, your intuition will be low and muted. So make sure that you take care of your body and your nervous system and your stress levels. And then we have our digestive system. People forget about digestive system when they are working with intuition. Digestive system is your second or third brain, if you want it. And healthy gut actually improve intuitive clarity. So the gut actually contains 100 million neurons, and it's really important to understand that if you do not have a balanced microbiome, it will dull your intuition, literally mute. Why? Imagine that your microbiome, it's like a huge room that you enter, and all the out of balance bacteria are like screaming, and there's so much noise in that room. And now you enter the room and you want to hear someone in the middle of the room telling you something. You're not going to be able to hear it. So you're going to have to muffle that noise, balance that noise, and actually allow the intuition to speak. So gut is really important, because it also not only communicates, through the microbiome, but through inflammation, because if you have a lot of inflammation, your hormones will not be sending messages. Your microbiome will be completely out of balance, and your brain will not get the messages that it needs. And anxiety. So anxiety, stress, nervous system connection is really important. You need to lower that in order to actually hear intuition. And that creates all the unclear signaling. And if you don't have all of that balance, and the fifth system that I didn't put here, that it's a part of the nervous system in the heart, is the fascia, which also has enormous amount of neurons. And that signals hormones through the gut and then through the blood and then goes into the heart, because the blood actually pumps the heart. So the heart gets the messages. But if the fascia is blocked and you have a lot of suppressed emotions, there's not enough flow to go through in order to for the messages to come to the heart to actually for you to hear. So those are the systems. And I'm going to go through basic things, and I'm going to show you a table that I've made. I'm not going to go into depth, but I'm going to give it to you. So when now we understand the difference between fear and intuition. Now we know what systems are actually influencing our intuition, so we can actually look at them in more depth, and we've done that through the trainings. But then we also need to understand how intuition speaks to us. And in intuition network or exploration, we have something that we call clairs. So we have 9 clairs, which are literally, let's just say that clairs are like framework, yeah, that actually describes different ways how intuition can be received. So how it comes through the body and how we perceive it and receive it. And what it offers is a more detailed map of how information arrives through the body. So we can actually sense the different layers of how it actually presents itself. So we can start combining the information. And these clairs directly connect to the different types of intuition and also the body systems. So I gave you a map of all of that. I'm not going to go into depth of all of that, but I'm going to give you, sorry, my zoom. But you will see the different clairs. So we have clairvoyance, which is clear seeing, clairaudience, which is clear hearing. We have clairsentience, which is clear feeling. We have claircognizance, which is clear knowing. We have clairalience, which is clear smelling. So if nobody knows how that looks like and feels like, I can tell you it can be really strange. And then you have clear, I think it's Guston's clear tasting. So that can be really intense, especially when you're tasting metals that you've never felt or seen before. And then we have clear tendency, which is clear touching. So that's for people that touch objects or people and they get insights. Yeah. And then we have clear intellect, which is less common, but it literally describes people that get insights through abstract understanding. So the people that get whole concepts like geniuses. And then we have clear empathy, which is clear emotional sensing. So there's the balanced and the unbalanced version of this. A lot of people call themselves clear empaths or empaths, but normally the bioenergetic field is like Swiss cheese, so it has holes in it, and they actually absorb people's emotions instead of feeling them and sensing them. So they need to really work on the energetic boundaries. But you will see I gave you all the details of what this is, what intuition type it relates to, and body systems that are related to this. Why I gave you this? So you can start developing this. So you can see what systems are influencing this. So when you balance those systems, you will start opening yourself up to a different perception and different way of receiving information. Okay, cool. So now we know intuition, we know how it speaks to us, we know that there's different ways of doing things, and probably you are already doing at least some of it, yeah? Either knowing it or feeling it or seeing it or something, smelling it. In my experience, the first intuition language that develops is knowing, yeah? So you first know and sense, then you feel, and then you either see. And then the last ones that develop normally, majority of time, are smelling and tasting, yeah? And those that are really, really connected, and they have the cognitive, yeah, models that they can really tap into. But you can develop all of them. And the more you actually work with your intuition and build your intuition through the pillars that we're going to look at now, the more you expand yourself and allow yourself to build the language that you've forgotten. You're literally just remembering, because we all know how to do that. So there's 5 pillars of intuition from my experience and what I've read and learned and all of that, and what I've actually done for the last, 20 something years. And I've tried to put it in a really concise way so you can start doing something. Yeah, because this topic we can talk about like for hours. Like, I can be here and tell you everything, but the most important thing is to start practicing. So if you don't practice and you just vibrate frequencies and you think that everything will magically happen, I'm sorry, I have to burst your bubble. It won't. Because intuition is a muscle and can be learned, but it needs to be practiced. So it's like gym. Think of it as an intuition gym. Yeah. And the more fun you have with it, the more fun it will be, the more feedback you're going to get, the better results you're going to get. So the 5 pillars, the core pillars of intuition, of course, there's layers on it, but the 5 core pillars of intuition are: first is stillness and presence. So you can't really hear your inner voice if your mind is too loud. And in today's world, when we have busy, go, do, and we actually don't take care of our nervous system, we don't empty our minds, we actually don't sit still. This is a crucial practice. I know. Patience is needed and consistency, but it's really important. Second pillar is trust. And this is where majority of people stop. I know there's 5 of them, but the majority of people stop at trust. Why? Because you need to build trust. Like in any relationships, you need to build trust. And to build trust, you must act on intuitive hits. So whatever insights and hits you get from the field, you need to actually act on them to strengthen that muscle. And you will need to be okay to be wrong and not get it right. You need to get out of your comfort zone. So this is a really important thing. So if you don't do this, you're not going to get through it. Third pillar is body connection. This is where the depth comes. So this is where you start learning about your body. Why? Because your body is your antenna. It's the receiver. So the more you understand your body, the better you'll understand your messages. The more you understand the language of your intuition, the more you're going to understand the messages that come through your body. Then we have energy hygiene. Energy hygiene is something that a lot of people forget when they start working on themselves, especially when they start working on trauma, when they start working, trauma, suppressed emotions is the same thing, just different levels. And when they start working on limiting beliefs and all of that, and they forget about boundaries in between. And it's really important, because if you don't know how to clean your energy, if you don't know what your energetic boundaries are, you have noise all the time in your field. That means other people's energy, emotions, interference, yeah, from EMFs, from other people's conflicts and everything else, from the space, from geopathy. There's so many things that can have the interference of your magnetic field. And clearing your energetic field or your aura is essential. It's like brushing your teeth. You can't go without it every single day. You can't. That's a must. Because otherwise you're not going to understand what's yours and what's not. And the 5th pillar is exploration and playfulness. This is where surrender comes in. And intuition actually thrives when you stay curious, open-hearted, and willing to play with the unknown. Without attachment, without, I want that, why does this not happen? Yeah? Because that's attachment. So if you are not willing to play, that's why when you look at kids, they don't attach to anything except the parents. They are going around exploring and doing everything they want because they don't care, because they feel safe in the unknown, because they have the safe space from the parents. And that's where you need to come back to, because without that curiosity, intuition will not come and thrive. So those are the 5 pillars, and I'm going to go through them as much fast as I can because we only have 50 minutes. Okay, and you're going to get all of this, so don't stress. Stillness and presence. So I gave you a bit of everything in here with each of the pillar. So stillness, we know that you can't hear your voice if your mind is too loud. So it's really important to actually settle your mind and sit in stillness. And stillness is actually a receptive state. So there's a program on Healy called Sound of Silence. So if your mind is really chattery and you have full mind, just put that on before bed and sit in stillness and do some breath work. Simple as. And really support your stillness practice and the energy of receptivity, because intuition, yeah, it opens the channel for your intuitive insights. You become receptive. So there's research as well done on this, especially on neuroscience and mindfulness. A study in 2005 actually shows that mindfulness and meditation actually thicken the prefrontal cortex right here. Yeah, this is which improves attention and self-awareness. So this part is really important for self-awareness. And all of them are vital to tuning into subtle intuitive signals. And also default mode network, which is a network in the brain that connects the brain, different brain regions, that actually becomes active when your mind is at rest, not focused on the outside world. So when you focus on inside, you have the inner reflection. For example, like daydreaming, your inner reflecting, visualizing, or tapping into intuition. This part of the brain, the default mode, DMN, which actually activates to combine all the parts of the brain, that's what the default mode is. And it's active during self-reflection, imagination, memory recall, and also inner awareness. Yeah. So when the Zoom. When the DMN quiets, yeah, so when we're quieting this network in the brain through meditation, it actually reduces mental chatter and it creates a space for non-linear, which is intuitive processing. So it's really important to understand that meditation and breath work are crucial in order to calm down the system, the nervous system, and actually opens up the pathway. So I gave you some exercises here. Just count a few. As I said, breath work, either box breathing or 4-8 or 4-4-8, which is 4 inhale, 4 hold, and 8 exhale to calm the nervous system. So you can activate the pineal gland with stillness and presence, especially with breath work, if you include with the 4-8 breath, if you include the pressure. So squeezing the muscles from the bottom, from pelvic floor up towards the crown, you're pushing the cerebral fluid through the spine up to the pineal gland to activate the crystals. Just be mindful that it works best if you have a 15-minute of meditation to clear your mind before you do the pressurized meditation to activate the pineal gland. There's few meditations that I love. So one is meditation with no goal. So majority of people, when they do meditations, they either have an intention where they visualize certain things or they want to process certain things. But sometimes, like for me, I do meditation with no goal at least once a day for like 5 minutes to actually just clear my mind, to just observe the thoughts, to not attach, to be an observer. And I actually build receptivity with that. So I don't attach to anything and I practice detachment. Otherwise, another good one as a ritual is create a void ritual. So you can do this, and I tend to do this before Healy, before I start scanning. I literally just sit in silence and I imagine myself like really out in the space where there's complete void and literally floating in the space. And I do not attach to anything. I'm in complete silence, literally like a vacuum. And I have my hands, so the left hand I normally tend to do my womb space and the right hand I normally tend to do my heart. And I literally just focus on listening, my heartbeat to the heartbeat, and then listening to anything that comes through. No intention of anything, just whatever comes through like a channel. So those are the things that you can practice before scanning Healy, so you can get more receptive for the messages that when you scan, you're going to get better insights through intuition. Nature, of course, when you go into nature, the more you work with intuition, the more you work with yourself in the body, the more grounding you will need, because you will need to discharge. So make sure that you go to nature. Meditation in nature is the best because you also get connections through the earth, and you connect better with yourself through that. Programs, I've literally limited really small amount of programs here to be really targeted. So the things that I suggest are coherence. That's the first thing you need to practice. Coherence in your bioenergetic support. You all have it. Yeah, no matter which program or which edition you have, you all have coherence. And this is to balance your heart and mind. Yeah. And then we have inner unity, which is in mental balance, which also helps with coherence and calming down the nervous system. I love deep relaxation when I work with my intuition in fitness. Really deeply relaxes my muscles and my fascia, so the flow of energy can actually move through. And then being, which works with the soul, it's in the gold cycle. So I literally gave you simple programs, so no matter what Healy edition you have, you can use them. Okay, next pillar is your trust. So as we know, trust grows through use. And if we don't train the muscles become weak and they stop growing. So trust is an amplifier. So make sure that the more trust you build, the better receptivity in an bioenergetic field you will have. So there's studies done on this. One is in behavioral psychology, that repetition strengthens neural pathways. We know that the more we repeat, the stronger the pathways are. And acting on your intuition rewires the brain to recognize and trust future intuitive signals. So the more you do it, the faster you're gonna actually see them, and the faster you're gonna respond. There was actually a study in 2016 on intuition action loop. So in a journal behavior decision making, that actually showed that acting on gut feelings actually increases intuitive accuracy over time. So the more you act on your gut feelings, your intuitive feelings, the more accurate they will become. So confidence actually builds competence. So if you suck at the beginning, that's okay, keep going. How do you build trust? One is journaling. So if you like writing things down, you're more than welcome to. Sometimes when we're not aware of things and we're still building awareness, journaling is a good thing. And track your hints or hits, like the insights that you get from your intuition. And track them how they played out, especially if you get a feeling and you doubt it. Write it down and see how it plays out. And the more feedback you're going to get, the better you're going to get. Of course, act on small intuitive nudges. So try something simple for the beginning. Something that's not high stake, like, I don't know, finding a parking spot. Yeah. And just go by your feeling, go by intuition. Or should I go left or right? Or who should I reach out today? So you can actually connect with people, because that will also help you open up your field of receptivity, so you can connect with others, so the field becomes more sensitive. Celebrate. People forget to do that. Yeah. Why is this important? Because creativity opens up the field, and joy opens up the field of intuition. So make sure that you celebrate your feedbacks. Every time you get it right, every time you listen to your intuition, I don't know, do a happy dance, pat yourself on the back, hug yourself, whatever that feels like for you, and whatever that reward is important for you, make sure you celebrate. this is a bit further, so you can ask for signs and guidance. So if you are connecting with your team or guides or whoever, if you're not, that's perfectly fine. You can still ask, because in quantum field, you will get the answer. Just ask, and then on things when you feel them, hear them. Yeah, act on them. And that will build a two-way relationship between your conscious mind that needs proof and the intuitive self that actually instinctive. So that builds the bridge. So the more you play with this, the better you're going to get with trust. Programs to support you on this: confidence and self-confidence in Soul Cycle if you have it. Otherwise, activation and joy of life in digital nutrition, inner strength and emotional well-being in mental balance, and care and being in Gold Cycle. Those are really good for trust. Okie dokie. Body connection, the deepest one and the strongest one. So we know that your body is an antenna and it picks up on things before your conscious mind actually does. So before you understand it consciously, your body knows it already. And your body will speak to you through sensations, your tension, openness, chills, like goosebumps on your body. You can even get nauseous or even vomit sometimes, depending on the intensity of energy. You can have warmth, cold, or lightness, heaviness. So those are all somatic signals and symptoms through your somatic intelligence. And there were studies done on somatic markers in 1994 that the body often knows before the brain. So that's where the gut feelings come from. And it really has a real psychological response from the enteric nervous system. So enteric nervous system is a nervous system that is within your gut. So the gut is what is governed by enteric nervous system. And also the Heart Math Institute did a research that actually shows that the heart coherence enhances intuitive accuracy and detects energetic information milliseconds before the brain. So the heart is much smarter than the brain, just that you know. How do you build that? Build intuition through body connection. You can do a body scan meditation. So I love doing this. I used to do this a lot. Now I feel it so often that I do it automatically. So you can sit quietly and you can scan. You can close your eyes and just feel like you're scanning your whole body from the head to toe or from toe to head. And just noticing sensations. You can look at the colors, like if you see anything gray, black, heavy, cold, warm, whatever, and just observe sensations within the body. And then you can start asking your body, have a conversation, or ask questions. And is there anything you want me to know? Or how can I support you today? There's a dialogue that starts forming with your body, and your body will start responding, because your body can't lie. It's the truth. Somatic yes and no calibrations. So that's another practice you can start using to build your intuition, either through kinesiology, like sway tests or hands or whatever. But there's another way that I like to do it to build the intuition, and that is using the body scan and then observing, asking your body a question that is something neutral, or that you know the answer is true or false. For example, my name is Petra, which is true. My name is Tina, which is not true. Yeah. So questions like that, you close your eyes, you do a body scan and see how the body sensations are working through the body. And then you ask your body, a question. You literally say it out loud if you want to. My name is Petra. And then you observe the body's response. So you can see what your body does when the statement is true, and what the body does when the statement is not true. And those are sensations that your body will give you, and you can then practice that on the outside world with different things that you would like to practice it with. But this will give you an insight directly on your body somatics responses that you can count on anytime you are outside. Why is this important? Because when you go into the world, you are going to interact with other people. And when you are talking to other people, your mind will be activated. But if you understand the body somatic symptoms or responses, you will notice them when you actually practice. So this will give you a really good insight in what's going on around you and within you. If you want to work with your body so you can move the energy through the body, moving intuitively is really a good practice to actually move the energy. So you can dance, you can shake, you can do a flow movement without choreography. So nothing planned, just literally listening intuitively to the body to actually see what it needs and how it needs to move. And this actually helps you clear the static out of the body. It actually increases your body sensitivity, which opens up your bioenergetic field to receptivity. Again, conversations, dialogues with your body. Again, you can use your hands, gut, heart, solar plexus, whatever you want. Put your hands on any part of your body and start a conversation. I did this for years and I still have a conversation with my body. And if you haven't had a conversation with your body before, I would encourage you to start a conversation with something like, hi, my body, I'm sorry I haven't been connecting with you, and I'm sorry I haven't checked in, and I'm sorry I haven't been here for you, but I would love to create a connection with you, and I would love to get to know you better. So it's like any other relationship. You literally create trust and build bridges before you go and ask the body, what do you want? Where do I pull this out? And then you literally just have a conversation like you would have a conversation with a friend. Programs here, there are quite a few, but I've tried to limit things. So hormone harmony, bioenergetic harmony 1 is actually a great one because it's good for the gut-heart communication, because hormones are communication pathways. Connective tissue in large intestine in meridian 1 and lymphatic system meridian 2, because we want to build intuition through the gut, because we want to move the old gut memories through the body. And connective tissue is fascia, and large intestine is the gut, and the lymphatic system is what moves the toxins and the waste. Chakras are really good for intuition. So in body connection, chakra sacral and heart are really important to build the emotional integrity, as well as opening the heart so you can actually start opening up receptivity. Connective tissue harmony and bioinformation, indigenous nutrition, and stability, youth, and tissue harmony, bioenergetic vitalization. Okay, now pillar 4, energy hygiene. We need to clean the energy of any, people's energies, other people's energies, projections, emotions, or even environmental statics, and get rid of the noise. So the cleaner you are, the better you're going to feel. And there's also mirror neurons and empathy study that was done in 2004 that showed that highly sensitive people unconsciously pick up others' emotions due to heightened neuron activity. Meaning that neurons that fire through the brain or through the body in fascia, they actually project the magnetic field out, and other people actually feel it through their own magnetic field. So other people, that's why you feel other people's emotions, and that's why you feel other people's state of being. And that's why, when people that know you, that, for example, if you had a fight with your partner and you come to, full room, and people that know you automatically ask you, are you okay? Something's not right. Because they're actually picking up on the signals. There's the Dr. Rubik's work also actually confirms the human biofield responds to intention, emotion, and external interference. So people tend to ask me, yeah, but how do I clean my energy? Intention is enough. Seriously, you're overcomplicating things. Yes, we have great programs to clean energy on Healy, Make Healy. Please use them. But also, before you use them, set an intention. An intention is completely enough to clean your space, but you need to define your space first. Okay, some suggestions on how to clean. Again, daily cleaning ritual is like washing your teeth. Make sure you do that every single day before you go to bed And I tend to do this in the morning after processing everything through the night and before I go to bed. You can use physical stuff like water cleans, yeah, like dry brushing, salt baths, Palo Santo or sage. If you want to, you can use frequency, or you can just use visual clearing of your field, literally setting an intention and imagining the light like a shower, yeah. With Healy, when you do aura scans and intention resets, before you do any intuitive work with scanning with resonance, make sure you clean and clear your field. Why? Because if you are not cleaning your field, you are literally pulling in other people's emotions, statics, and everything that's not yours, and it's going to show up on Healy. So if you really want to work on yourself, make sure that you do your energy hygiene and then scan, because then you're going to have clearer results and you can have a more focused results as well and work. If you need to dump emotions, just do free writing or screaming, shaking. You can do whatever you want to, just so you can get rid of that. Energetic boundaries. This is what I wanted to talk about. So energetic boundaries is defined space. So if you don't have energetic boundaries, you are going to be like a sponge, literally. And when you want to heal or work on yourself emotionally or work on your mental beliefs, or your ancestors or whatever you want to, you will need to have a defined space first, a container. So if you do not have energetic boundaries and you feel other people's emotions and you get tired really easily and you get triggered really easily, that means you are a Swiss cheese. You're walking around with holes. So make sure that you practice saying no to things that actually deplete your energy, that drain you. You can visualize like a defined space around you, like a bubble with the boundary, yeah? And you don't have to visualize protecting that bubble and zipping it up and making fortresses. No, your heart, as soon as you actually open your heart and breathe through your heart, your magnetic field will double automatically. And you will have your own energetic space without any work, yeah? But in order for you to actually understand your boundary, you need to visualize a defined space around you, meaning that when you understand when that space is, you do not, no compromises, you do not allow anyone physically to cross that boundary, emotionally to cross that boundary, or energetically to cross that boundary. Yes, that takes practice. But until you actually have a defined space, you don't know what you're cleaning. You're going to clean everything. And that takes a lot of time and that takes a lot of energy that you don't have, because then you're going to be left with the energy of cleaning and healing yourself. Just letting you know. You can also use sonic cleansing, which is sound. Yeah, any music, crystal balls, binaural beats, solfeggio frequencies. I love solfeggio frequencies and harmonic frequencies. I have them all day when I'm working on computers because EMFs affect my bioenergetic field. So I just use sound in my background with specific frequencies, harmonic frequencies, to actually cleanse my field while I'm working with the EMFs, and then I also have a grounding sheet to help me ground and discharge, and that's how I recharge my nervous system. Programs here that you can use for energy is any protection programs, so bioenergetic defense programs, electrosensitivity, subtle general protection. Those are really good to build your energetic field. Bioenergetic boost and coherence in bioenergetic support. All of you have that, yeah? Aura cleans in Mac Healy or in Soul Cycle. Chakra, solar plexus, root, which are your boundaries and clearing old fears. And then energy cycle. For those of you who have the obsidian, energy cycle is amazing for energy hygiene and energy boundaries. Energetic cleansing, harmonization 5G, cell phone energy balance, spiritual energy. Those are really great programs. And if you're lacking on energy, you also have the energy regeneration and cell regeneration, all of that. But the energy cycles are really, really good for this. And the last one, I promise. I know, I have it nowhere. Exploration and playfulness, but this is the best one and the most fun one. So if you actually open yourself up to possibilities that you don't understand yet, that actually lie in your energetic and bioenergetic and quantum field, and you will perceive messages with actually an open mind and open heart, meaning that you become a child, like playful child that sees the world in awe. And I think we should all see that world is beautiful. And no matter how many emotions and trauma we experience, there's so much beauty out there. So why is this important? Because intuition is a creative force. It comes through your sacral chakra and of course through your crown and third eye, but sacral chakra on the physical level is what creates into it. It's a part of intuition. It's creativity, it's creative energy. And what drives it is your curiosity and playfulness. Yeah, and not being afraid to do it the wrong way. Yeah, to be wrong. Wrong. There's no wrong. Yeah, we're so afraid to make mistakes. It's just feedback. Yeah, so if this doesn't work, great. Now I know how not to do it. So I'll do it differently. So like Thomas Edison said, I found 500 ways how not to make a light bulb. I only need one way to make a light bulb. So it's really important to actually practice and have fun with it. But why? Because then we become a magnet. We literally become a magnet because when we live in joy, expansion, and wonder, those are expensive emotions. They are high vibrating emotions and they have space to bring new things in. And we become a magnet for new opportunities and inspiration, insight, and we actually can connect to our own intuition much easily. There was a study in 2009 on neuroplasticity and play, and it was actually research that playful and novel experiences actually stimulate your dopamine and neurogenesis, which both of them support creative and intuitive thinking. So the more you play, the more you actually have insights and ideas and creativity, and the more you tap into your intuition. That's what entrepreneurs do, the real success ones. There was also studies in Harvard and Stanford that actually suggested the brain doesn't distinguish between imagination and reality, literally making playful visualization a powerful intuitive tool. So the more you daydream, the more you visualize, the more you play, the more you are creative, the more you use your imagination, the faster you're going to actually tap into intuition. And the majority of people forget about this part. Yeah, they make intuition so hard that they close and contract everything. It should be fun. Okay, make it fun. Okay, so some ideas to do things is try new intuitive tools. Yeah, try new ones. Don't stick to one. Use pendulums, cards, free writing, intuitive art. Don't make it about perfection. Yeah, guided visualizations, meditations, whatever you want. Try it all. Yeah, just have feedback so you understand what works for you. If you're talking to your guides or your higher self or your essence, whatever you want, make an intention that you talk to them as your friends. Yeah, you can ask questions like fun questions. You know, what would be fun to create today, for example? Or I always like this question when I was exploring my visuals of the colors. I was asking a lot of people around when I was playing, if my intuition had a color, what would it be? And don't overanalyze. Just what the first thing that pops into your mind. And what does my inner child want to explore today, for example? And make sure that you use your imagination. Don't lose it. Yeah. You can actually pretend. Pretend is a great, like kids do it. Pretend is a great role play. So you can actually practice receptivity. So pretend that you're actually receiving a message from the guides or whoever you want to connect with, and just describe it out loud, how the message would be, and then pretend and practice this daily, which means that you're opening up yourself to possibilities, and that will help you start receiving messages. Meditation, of course. meditation is an important tool to tap into the quantum field. And you can experiment with different questions. You can also experiment to ask, for example, to be shown something you're ready to see. And then just allow yourself to get feelings, visuals, whatever that is. And of course, do field experiments, not just within yourself, but go out into the world and practice that outside. A fun game that I used to play, sometimes now it literally becomes so a part of me that I don't even notice it anymore. But we used to, even before we went to an event, or like before we made a big decision or any decision at the beginning, I was always predicting how I would feel, what I would see there, how people would react, what might happen. And then I would actually just go and see the feedback. And then I would compare what I actually said before with what I was seeing. And then I would actually get my feedback, the feeling sensations through the body, and I would just be playing. I would have no pressure and no judgment on, oh, this should be this way. No, I would be literally just playing with the feedback. Some programs that you can use for creativity and playfulness and explorations: inner strength systemic and mental balance acute, to actually calm down the stress, to open up your mind in mental balance. Activation in job, activation spirituality, brain harmony, joy of life in digital nutrition mixtures. Chakras, your third eye and crown. Energy and care in gold cycle, and pineal gland harmony and cell harmony in bioenergetic vitalizations. So how would you approach all of this? You can take one pillar and literally do the exercises for a week, vibrate the programs, and write down the feedback that comes back and see what happens. Play with it. Don't make it so serious, because the more you're going to play, the easier it's going to get, the faster you're going to learn, and the stronger the feelings will become. But I try to make it really simple for you, with not a lot of programs, but more of the focus of exercise and your feedback, so you can actually just support your body to give you feedback and open up the channels. Of course, there's so many other things you can do, but these are the basic pillars for you to build your intuition. And after you do this, then you can go and scan aura scans and coaching modules and meridian modules, and actually set an intention, clear your mind, clear your space, clear your bioenergetic space before you scan, and then feel into what you're getting out of the scans. Tap into your intuition through the scans, but you need to build the muscle before you actually go in, so you don't do it with your head, but you're actually using your intuition. Okay, I think that's it. That's it. Questions? I would love to know, before we go to any specific questions, what's one thing that you learned today about intuition that you didn't know before? Pop it in the chat. If I would really love to know. I'm just going to stop sharing. And then if there's any other questions, you can pop your hands up if you want to. I know, I've been long today. This is a long topic. Oh, wow. Okay. Excellent information. Thanks. You're welcome. Make it playful. Definitely. Love playing. Okay, please show trust slide once again. Thank you. All the slides will be in the Facebook group, so you can download the photos. The link is up there if you want to participate. You can join this Facebook group here. This is the link. All the replays are also on APEC, Healy APEC YouTube channel as well, of the trainings. Okay, sometimes voice from inside is coming out of pressure or ego. Yes, need to still mind and come with open mind. Don't forget to declutter mind. Correct. So the more you eliminate distractions, the clearer the voice and the feeling will be. Being tired, like, yes, please. Like, don't you ever want, like, I know this is me, maybe I'm just strange, but don't you ever just want to go on a playground and actually use the playground, not for the kids, but for yourself? But you can't, because people will look at you like you're going to break everything. But we have playgrounds here for kids which are really great. They have this big inflatable kind of jumping castle, and I always go there. And like, adults look at me like I'm crazy, but kids just love me because we play together. And that's the best thing, like the best feeling in the world. Kids open up so much for us. And because they're still in the theta waves and they have the access to intuition like this. So the more you surround yourself with that energy, the more you are going to be able to tap into it without forcing yourself. Yeah. And please, I know trauma, suppressed emotions can be heavy, but the more you actually pair them with opposite, with joy and playfulness, the easier they will be to transform, and the lighter you will feel, and the more receptive you will be for your intuition. Don't forget that. Okay, presenting makes total sense. Perfect. I'm glad it makes sense. I got this over the past 6 years using, where are you? Healy and time or effort, perfect. So I encourage everyone to use Healy to sharpen. Definitely. I'm actually always using the playground, and other parents always laugh with it. Yes, please continue using the playground. Okay, cool. Think about playfulness being such a big part of it, but of course it makes perfect sense. Kids are so in touch with their intuition. Yes, they are completely in touch, and we could learn from them so much. Talk to your body. Yes. Create boundaries. Yes, please. Boundaries are healthy. Yes. Like, I know people are scared of setting boundaries because there's rejection and there's so many things. There's backlash because people are not used to boundaries. We live in a society where people think when you say no, or where you actually define what's important to you, they think that you are an egocentric, or you're cold, or you don't love them, or you don't see them for who they are. But the thing is, we are so living in such an attached world that if somebody sets a boundary, that attachment is now broken, and now we're left with our own trauma. So it's really important to understand that when you set your own boundaries, you can do it compassionately. You are actually offering people around you an opportunity to take a look at what is not working for them and what needs to be healed. And that is not yours to take. Your responsibility, ability to respond, is to create your own space, hold it, nurture it, take care of it, clean it, so you can be a beautiful mirror and reflection for others in order to learn, because that's what we are doing here. It's just mirrors. Don't be rigid, be flexible. Yes. Be like water. Yeah. Like the fairies. Let the information message flow through body action. Yes. No. Detachment is such a huge thing with intuition. Don't put things into things. Yeah. Don't make perceptions. Like, if you get like the other day I was talking to a friend and she got a dream. Dreams are amazing. So if you are dreaming a lot, write them down. And if you don't know how to make sense of it, I pop them into AI. And I know if you don't want to use AI, that's fine. But I literally write. So what I do is I do a reflection of my dreams, and I actually use my intuition of what could this be a representative for. So what is this representing in my life? What is this representing in my life? What is coming up for me? What I'm sensing? And then I put my dreams into AI, and I allow AI to give me feedback. Yeah, I just pop data in there, so details, none of my emotional impressions. And then I actually see what AI comes up with, and I actually see the patterns that it pulls out. And then I go, oh, does this resonate? No, yes, no, yes. I literally just use my intuition, what works for me. But you can get so much insight through dreams, like so much insight about yourself. Okay. Flexible. Yes, sometimes body takes action before mind. Yes, and allow your body to take action, because your body always knows, and it will always protect you, and it will never put you into harm's way. Any specific healing programs for developing and recognizing intuition? Multiple for pillars. So if you go through pillars, all those programs, we don't have a specific program for intuition. The only program that would be really, really connected to expanding your receptivity and connectivity would be cosmic growth. But be mindful with that. If you are not like really in tune with yourself, it can open up a whole lot of things. So be gentle with cosmic growth, but it's a beautiful way to expand. So the more you expand your emotions, the more you expand your field, the more you can actually receive, because there's more space in the energy. Okay. No voice. Okay. How to ask questions to your intuition without getting answers from your own conscious? Yes, this is practice. If I want answers from higher self. Okay, so there's layers. So question is how to ask your questions to your intuition without getting answers from my own conscious or subconscious mind if I want answers from my higher self. This is not a one-way street. So you need to practice. So in order to actually get responses from your higher self or your essence, you need to build a relationship with your body first. Then you need to build a relationship with your essence. Yeah. When you have a relationship, then you will understand the feedbacks that you're getting. You will understand the frequency, the tone, the energy, the speed of the information that's coming back. So you're going to learn the difference of the body response, the difference of your essence response. And then you need to practice the intuition as well before you can have a conversation. So energy has layers. So you can't just go, oh, I want to talk to that person. Like it's like you're going to go to Hollywood and say, I want to talk to George Clooney. Like it doesn't work that way. You need to make an appointment to go there. But in this way, you need to build a bridge and need to build the connection. Yeah. So it's not going to work that fast. And Mac Healy would recommend other than sound of silence and aura in atmospheric. So there's creativity in Mag. Emotions in McMaken are really good to actually clear your space of any other disturbances. Of course, vagus nerve, vagus harmony is really good for the nervous system support. If you want to actually really support your pineal, sleep in McMaken is really good too. There is of course, aura cleansing and sound of silence, spheric and earth. Those are really good for the energetic fields as well in Mag. Anything else? What did I use? I just go through the list of things that I use. There's probably something else as well, but it doesn't come to my mind right now. Okay. Hand up. Oh, sorry, Deb. Before Deb, Nitya last. I have no idea how to pronounce that. I'm sorry, Nitya. I'm sorry. Please tell me how to pronounce that. Nitya.
Hi,
Hello?
Petra. Can you hear me?
Yes. How do I pronounce your name? So sorry.
That's completely fine, and you have sounded very cutely, I would say. Sorry, my video is not that clear.
That's okay. So how do you pronounce your name? I'm now wondering.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So it's Nitya Lakshmi.
Yeah, Lakshmi. Okay, cool.
Exactly.
Great.
Beautiful. And in just
Cool.
all these years, you were the first person who sounded so cute. Thank you so much for that.
I always stumble on these names. I'm so sorry. I rename everyone.
That's,
I'm so
no,
sorry.
I really mean it. I really mean it. You sounded very cute. Thank you. So my
How can I?
so the session was really really good. Really informative, actually, I would say. And I could understand all the five pillars for building the intuition. So my only question is, in these five pillars, you have given like 4 to 5 programs in each pillars, right? So if suppose if I want to work on my intuition, if I want to develop my intuition, so how can I choose the programs? So as per your guidance, now it's like it looks like we have 20 to 30 programs, right, on the whole, with that five
Yeah,
pillars. But
but
we are
it's
supposed
based
to
on a
run,
pillar.
yeah, so we are supposed to run for a day like 3 to 5 programs only. So in that case, how can I choose the programs for raising the intuition?
With focus. So
Okay.
intention and focus are always a priority. Yeah. So when you are actually working on pillars, you choose one pillar for a
Mm-hmm.
week and you
Okay.
work on that and you support that pillar with programs that you have. If you want to, you can run them 1 or 2 per day and just go through the list. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
the great thing is don't do it mindlessly. Yeah, run the program, observe, because that's how you teach your intuition as well. So observe how you feel in the body when you're running this specific program. What does it do to me? What happened if I set an intention? I don't know, I'm building trust. Okay, so I'm building trust with my body. I'm building trust with my feelings of feedback of what I'm getting through my body. If I run, I don't know, I run care on Gold Cycle. Yeah. How do I feel afterwards? Do I feel like if I check in with myself, like if I do the practice, did anything change before and after? Yeah, so you need to practice, you need to observe, you need to get feedback. So it's not just running the programs, is you being active participants within that space. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you don't
Thank
have
you
to
so
run
much.
10,000 different programs. Make a
Mm-hmm.
focus of something. Choose, you can go and test all of the programs, but then if you want to extend another week on trust, then
Mm-hmm.
just use the ones of the list of the programs, the ones that were actually the most effective for you, and run them for another week and do the exercises for another week and then see what happens then. Because the
Beautiful.
more you practice, the more you're going to get feedback, the more you're going to listen to intuition, what works, and you do another round of that, the more you're going to intensify the strength, the deeper you're going to go, the stronger the intuition will be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Petra. Yeah, I understand now.
Okay, cool.
Thank you so
Anything
much.
else?
That's it. Thank you.
Perfect. No worries. Thank
Yeah.
you. Enjoy. Okay, Deb, you're up.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe I missed this. I actually Googled the time and the time difference came up wrong, and I'm just getting the end of your session. So my first question to you is, when do you propose to put the recording up? Will it be in a week's time that you may possibly?
Everybody's asking me that. I have no control. I have no
That's
control
okay.
when I get the recording. So as soon as I get the link from Healy Corporate, which is depends. Sometimes it can be on Friday, but majority is probably Tuesday, Wednesday, a week after. Yeah. So as soon as I actually get the recording, my VA then pops it into with my slides and everything into the group. But as soon as I have it, I pop it on.
Yeah, you used to be half an hour behind, but it seems like you're a half an hour ahead. So I've really messed up there now because of the
That's fine. It's recorded anyway. So we're going to do recording in probably it's going to be up next week. Yeah. So don't stress.
That's okay. And just two things to add. You just mentioned intention setting with intuition, and I think that's really paramount, is the clarity of the intention setting that we're actually setting out, because that is what's putting the information into the information field. So for that intuition to come and be received, it's got to be very clear, that intention. So that needs a lot of work prior to trying to, and I don't know if you touched upon that, but the other thing I was thinking of, and I've had aha moments with my clients, is I do a lot of work with limiting beliefs and patterns, etc. And I always run a meridian scan on them prior to doing the work into their subconscious mind, because I do a bit of regression therapy. And what is really cool is at the end of it, I don't even look at the actual scan results, but what comes out in the session is exactly what is actually coming out in the meridian, in the Make Healy scan. So the body is giving that information, and it's amazing that we've got a tool like Healy that can kind of put that, to affirm, and it gives that for those people validness to listen more intently to what's their body's telling them. Yeah.
Completely agree, Deb. Completely. Like intention, as we know, we've had sessions with intentions, and anything we do, intention influences our field. And before we do anything, intention is important. And before we set an intention, clearing our field is crucial. So of any disturbances, because otherwise it's not ours of what we're working on. But today we looked at building intuition for people that are not so in tune yet. But definitely, when we understand the messages and we understand how to receive those messages, and how to read them and interpret them, then definitely those scans, aura scans, coaching scans, meridians are so crucial, especially because we know that they influence our nervous system, they connect to our bioenergetic field, they show us the blockages and the lack of flow of energy. So there's so much we can do. And the same is with chakras and aura. We can look at the auras and see where energy is stagnant and where we are lacking the energy and flow. So there's so much we could do with Healy, but in order to actually not just blindly trust Healy and not check in with ourselves, we need to develop the intuition in order to cross-check with Healy. Because if we don't know how to cross-check with Healy, we are giving our power away again, and we're not building and empowering ourselves. That's the point. And people don't understand how to read the Healy because they are giving the power away and literally just reading and don't know what to do with it, so they can't go deeper. So building the intuition is trusting yourself and also trusting Healy, but working as a team. Definitely, Healy is an amazing tool, and it's every time spot on. I agree. Every time, like, it scares the shit out of me sometimes. Sorry for my French, but like, seriously, yeah. Thanks, Deb. Yeah, completely agree. 100%, completely. Okay, perfect. That's done. Any questions, please pop them into the Facebook group if you have them. I'm in the Facebook group as much as I can be. Healy trainings are all recorded. They are all on APEC Healy YouTube channel. You can find them there. You will find them in my Facebook group with all the additional stuff. Next week, what's next week? Next week, Christy has the training. And then I think the first week of June, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think we're 100% confirmed, but we have an amazing session. Jan Polsensky is actually joining me, and we're going to go and deep dive into the deep cycle. I'm so excited. I'm going to just ask him 10,000 million questions. And he's going to probably hate me for that, but that's okay because I have so many things in my head. But yeah, we're going to have a really deep dive into the deep cycle, which I'm really excited because it's one of my favorite program lists. And I'll be probably seeing you in June. But till then, have a beautiful weekend, have a beautiful week ahead, and I'll be seeing you in 2 weeks. Enjoy. Bye-bye.